Hi guys, Ships at Sea has just released, and I know just how excited many of you out there are about it. And I also know just how early access the game is right now. I'm going to predict that overall the Steam reviews will be mixed and potentially even leaning hard towards negativity, and I can understand why, but here's the thing. Good things come to those who wait. The foundations that have been laid here in Ships at Sea are very promising indeed. Far more promising than in either of the previous two titles. This shows that the devs have been listening to all of the feedback from the last game, and they have tried to implement what we wanted. Big waves, varying weather, and an overall sense of challenge and consequence. But they are a small team, and what they're trying to do here with Ships at Sea is to build a version of the game that we all want to see. I for one am very much hoping that they take an SCS approach to this game and continue developing it for the next 10 years or even 20 years, releasing new boats, locations and paint jobs in order to enable them to continue building the game and improving the game the way that we want it to be improved. Is the game playable right now? Absolutely yes. But are there some game-breaking bugs and lots of unfinished or unpolished stuff? Unfortunately, yes. But as you're buying into an early access title, this is what you have bought into, and it's kind of exciting because we can actually shape the final look of this game. Now, MISC Games are still clinging on to their theory that a game needs to be game-like, so this will never be a fully realistic simulator. But I think it's good enough to be a realistic simcade, and as the game evolves, it can improve exponentially. So instead of worrying about the state of the game as it is today, I am going to ask you to think about what you want the game to look like in the future, 2, 3 or even 5 years from now. What features do you want to see in the game? Please do let me know in the comments, whilst I share with you my top 5 wishlist items. Number 1, swimming. Now, adding swimming to the game is, I think, essential for other, arguably more important things to be added. I want the ability to walk freely over the boats, so that you can climb up onto the docks instead of teleporting to and from the dock to the boat every time. And swimming is essential for boats to sink if they capsize or if they get damaged and take on too much water. Now, none of those things can happen unless we can actually swim in the water. So in order to have these more important things, swimming has to be added to the game. Number 2. I am so glad that we have multiplayer for the first time, but honestly, it does need to be developed a lot more. We need to be able to share a single boat, for example. Damn it, if swimming becomes an option, we need to be able to switch boats whilst we're at sea. Imagine if your boat catches on fire. There's a lot that could be done with this game, and there's a lot of potential for this game, but none of the things that we're going to be wanting are going to come quickly. So the multiplayer expansion, if you will, is going to be a slow progress, but it's so important that we tell them what we want early on before they start heading down a direction that nobody really wants. To expand on the multiplayer business option is number 3. I would like there to be an owner, one person who buys all the boats, manages them, repairs them, upgrades them, insures them, etc, 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 and then we can invite multiplayer visitors to come in and work for the owner. Maybe they could even be paid a wage, which they can then keep and take into a single player game or start their own multiplayer business and expand that way. Number 4 has to be boat physics. Right now the boat physics are extremely arcade-like, much better than they were in the last game, but they certainly do not behave like boats actually do. So this is something that really needs to be tweaked and improved over a period of time, and I think it's important that the community have a front and centre sort of point of view on this. What might be nice is if they gave us sliders so that we can affect the amount of realism that we introduce onto the boats in terms of movement, acceleration and the ability to stop in water. Now the 5th one, and I'm pretty sure all of you are going to be on board with this, is modding. If there's no better example than ETS2 modding community or Microsoft Flight Simulator modding community. It simply allows us, the community, to explore and test and play outside of whatever the devs are currently working on, and it keeps the game alive, keeps it fresh, and makes it feel new and interesting, which is exactly what you need for a long-term development game like this. Now, the best example I can think of, above all else, is Farming Simulator. In my eyes, that is a game that would have been an almighty flop but for the modding community, which brought that game out of the mire pit and actually made it good. The modding community were pushing the boundaries of that game, and so much so that eventually in Farm Sim 22 the devs actually incorporated a large number of the modding community's changes and tweaks. Now, that would never have happened if the modding community didn't exist. So I think modding for this game could be the most important of all the 5 changes that I've asked for here. These are my top 5. Please, please, please tell me in the comments what are yours. I guarantee you, if the devs aren't reading this, then I will be sharing the information you provide here with them directly. And you can do that too by joining the Discord on Ships at Sea and voice your opinions. Make sure you're being heard and don't be quiet, because otherwise we're going to end up with another Fishing North Atlantic, and I don't think anybody wants that. One little nugget of information that you might find interesting actually is that I have queried whether or not the new and improved features in this game could somehow make their way into the Fishing North Atlantic title. And although there is nothing confirmed or even likely to happen anytime soon, there is a thin possibility that that might happen. So that could be really interesting. Watch this space, you heard it here first. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Goodbye for now.